everybody. Thanks for listening. I'm Jenny. I'm a life coach, and today I'm talking about integration medicine. We've talked about awakening, the awakening process. We've talked about parts work. And so, to wrap everything up, I just kind of want to go over some general um, advice or reminders that are going to help you through this process and this journey. So the first thing is this is all kind of just a simulation. To an extent, our time here on earth is so fleeting. And in the grand scheme of things, there's very little that actually matters. And so, number one is to just take this all less seriously. Decide how you want to play the video game. How is a person supposed to function in the world after a spiritual awakening when they realize that nothing actually matters? You decide how you want to play the video game and you start having fun with it. Okay. Earth is just a training ground where souls go to learn from making terrible mistakes. And death comes for all of us, whether you do everything right or not. So just make your mistakes with intention, make them with purpose, and turn it into a kink because over time we become chemically addicted to our own misery. And so by reframing bullshit as a turn on, you change the chemical reaction. Maybe your life sucks because you like it that way. Um, the universe is into BDSM. And so when you start to think of things that way, you start to change the power dynamic, whether it's true or not. Okay. The thought is helpful, whether it's true or not. So, to heal quickly, learn how to show up for yourself in the way that you needed someone to show up for you. Um, Healing is basically just self awareness plus vulnerability. Um, and be authentic, practice self compassion, build resilience, keep your sense of gratitude, learn how to trust, learn how to be creative, learn how to play, learn how to rest, learn how to sit in stillness, how to find a sense of meaning in your struggles, how to laugh, and how to celebrate your progress. Journaling can be a really great tool. Sometimes I don't know what I think until I write about it. So, journaling is a really great way, especially for people who have extroverted feeling, if you're into Myers-Briggs, it's hard for us to know how we feel. Sometimes we need to talk to other people to figure out how we feel. Journaling is a good substitute for that. Therapy, also very helpful. These are just self awareness tools. Journaling is a great self awareness tool. Therapy is a great self awareness tool. Um, People don't need therapy because something is wrong with them. People need therapy because of the people in their lives who will not go to therapy. Okay, so there's no shame in going to therapy. Sometimes the wrong thing to do is the right thing to do. Sometimes we are just puppets in a universal karma delivery scheme. And so if your dark side comes out once in a while, that's okay. Sometimes it's meant to, sometimes it's supposed to. The world needs less good girl conditioning, it needs more dark feminine energy. And so if your dark side comes out once in a while, that's okay. Sometimes it's supposed to. A lot of people who think they're practicing self care are really just practicing aftercare. They're only doing self care as a reaction to a problem. So think about ways that you can do self care as a preventative rather than reactive activity. Being a highly sensitive person means self care is going to have a larger effect on us, a larger positive effect on us, because everything has a larger effect on us. Um, there is a feeling when you start to heal that you're leaving your friends and family behind. There's some guilt that comes with that, but you have to put yourself first and go back for the others later. This is a solo journey. The awakening journey is a solo journey. You will get help along the way. You will find like-minded people along the way, but it starts as a solo journey. It starts as leaving those other people behind. It's not a group activity. Um, Rest is not restorative unless you can do it without guilt. So You're going to have to really give yourself permission to rest because this is a very intense, draining process. Also, think about trapping yourself in your own psychology because it's easier to hijack the same neural pathways than to build new ones. Um, so, like, if you're highly productive as a coping mechanism, um, and never adequately process loss, they can be like setting a goal where you have to tap into grief to achieve that goal. So think about ways to hack your neurobiology. Um, think about ways to trap yourself in your own psychology and fight the illusion that healing quickly is an insult to your injury. Healing is not an insult to your trauma. Um, Anxiety, if you're dealing with anxiety problems, usually the unknown is always worse than the known. And it's important to take one anxiety at a time. So if you have a whole bunch of stuff you're worried about, just focus on handling one thing at a time. Um, Depression, a lot of managing depression is just dopamine regulation, which also is fixed by doing one small thing at a time. So the hack for anxiety and the hack for depression are both doing one small thing at a time. Anxiety, you're making them all your anxieties wait and take turns. And depression, you're doing one small thing at a time because you're getting those dopamine hits. That's an easier way to get those dopamine hits and to build your motivation up. Uh, Extroverted feeling, if you're into Myers Briggs, if you're an extroverted feeler, think about using your extroverted feeling on yourself, right? We're usually using our extroverted feeling on other people. And so if you see yourself as separate people and separate parts, that's an easy way to hack that extroverted feeling and use it on yourself, right? This is what I mean by trapping yourself in your own psychology. If you're always putting other people first, think of yourself as other people. Okay. Um, so use that extroverted feeling on your fragmented inner children. What do you want for your own child? Start giving that to yourself. Look at primary versus secondary pain, right? Primary pain would be I didn't get enough work done today. But a secondary pain is I feel guilty about not getting enough work done today, right? Now I'm suffering twice. So primary pain is unavoidable, but secondary pain is a choice. Um, and as you're getting, if you're getting negative attention on this healing journey, if your family's trying to keep you down in the pit with them, one lesson we can learn from narcissists is to use negative attention as fuel. Narcissists are experts at using negative attention as fuel, but anyone can do it if it's just an energy shift. It's kind of just an energy shift. um, Once you know that that door is an option, it gets pretty easy to open it, right? Like you're not going to turn into a narcissist if you do this, right? Um, you're not going to use it on good people who are saying nice things like narcissists do. But there are ways to use negative attention as fuel. And the number one difference between the people who heal and the people who don't is an internal locus of control. It's a belief that you have the power to control your outcome, not that everything just happens to you and that everyone else is the problem. It's taking responsibility for your life and for the parts that you can control. You're going to need a willingness to disappoint people. You're going to need to really trust your reality, no matter what other people are saying, without feeling the need to prove it or change people's minds. Um, you are going to have to accept that what's normal is actually dysfunctional. You're going to need to take care of your body. You're going to have to spend more time alone. You're going to have to cry, allow all the emotions to come out, and there's usually going to be a really good dose of grief and or anger. A lot of the times men aren't allowed to feel grief. A lot of the times women are not allowed to feel anger, but it's not black and white. And grief and anger are how you get out of those lower energy fields, allowing yourself to feel grief and anger. The thing that we fear the most is often the thing that we most need to do. So your fears are going to be really useful tools here. When you are avoiding fear, they become limits of growth and progress. It's also going to push you into addictions and to numbing a lot more when you're avoiding things that you're scared of. So make a habit of getting really close to your fears. What are they there to show you? Treat them like a person or like a part that is there to teach you something, and you will find growth on the other side. Your homework is to think about a time when you had an imaginary friend, or make one up if you never did have one, and ask that imaginary friend for help finding the old you. Before all of the conditioning, before all of the trauma, your true core innocent child self enlist the help of that imaginary friend to show you who you truly are. That's everything I have for today, everybody. Thanks for listening. If you want more information, there's links in the description.